How's it going, everybody? Texas Redleg here. Hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving holiday. Mine was pretty good. Got to see a lot of my in-laws and extended family of my wife, so it was a pretty good deal. And everybody seemed to get along real well, and it was a good time. So thankful for that. And you know, been thinking about a lot about the next video I was going to do, and with everything that's going on in the world, and just kind of refocusing on what things are important right now. Of course, first thing is prayer, and you got to keep that up. And just reinvesting your time in the people around you that are close and that you care about, and that means something to you, and making sure that they understand the situation and where you stand with regard to your preparations and things of that nature for the foreseeable future. And I think it's important that we all sort of reevaluate all that going forward, especially now with the likely chaos and trouble that's going to ensue shortly. The main thing I want to talk about today is a term that a lot of us know about, a lot of us I think don't know about, and that is going gray. Grey, going gray, or being the gray man. And a lot of people are, I think, under a misconception about what that is. I mean, a lot of people have a different opinion on what that is, but I'll go through what I think it means, and how important it is to, I would say, involve yourself in that type of thinking. So, what does it mean to go gray? So, going gray is sort of a stealthy term for either fitting in or blending in with the group or society. And in other words, not calling attention to yourself directly or your group. Going gray means sort of just going with the flow, at least from an optical point of view. When people see you, they don't say, "Ooh, that guy's carrying firearms." That guy's just some dude walking around. That's what you want. You just want to blend in. You don't want to draw attention to yourself. You don't want to draw unnecessary attention to yourself, and certainly have people key on you and attempt to rob you or harm you in any way. So with going gray, I think I basically break it down into about 3 or 4 areas. And the first one that I kind of employ most every day in my life now, and have for a while, is what we call OPSEC, OPSEC. And I think most of you probably know what that means, but if you don't, it means operational security. Being aware of the enemies out there, and keeping things from being broadcasted to unnecessary ears, a need-to-know basis, that type of stuff. So operational security is important, and that kind of goes along with all of your social media, your general communications via phone or text or email. Of course, again, your social medias, your platforms, Twitter, etc. You just want to be smart, and you want to be safe. You don't necessarily want to put out a bunch of things that's people can delineate. Certainly not your location. You don't want that. But delineate that you're involved with this or that, and try to dox you or troll you or whatever, and try to harm you or your property or your family in any way. So just be smart and be safe with regards to your social media. Again, this is kind of going gray, blending in, not calling any extra attention to yourself. Another area, of course, and I think a lot of people probably associate going gray more with this, is the physical part of going gray. Blending in, using plain everyday clothing, instead of multicam or BDUs or something that says, "Oh, that guy's former military. Look at him. He's all strapped and ready to go." I mean, I don't think that's the image that we want to portray if things hit the fan. Honestly, every group, if you've got a circle of, if you've got a group or a unit that has agreed to wear a certain thing or certain types of things to identify yourselves, that's a little bit different conversation. But with regards to, physically blending in, just wear normal clothes. I'm not telling you to go out there and wear a, pair of white coveralls or, a high visibility vest or a safety vest, but just normal everyday things that somebody might wear going to the store or walking down the street. Okay, you want to blend in. Again, that's clothing. What kind of bag do you carry? You carry just a regular black or gray backpack, or are you wearing a Molly backpack that's mil spec and got a bunch of things hanging off of it? Again, these are things that I think you want to try to avoid. I'm not saying you shouldn't have good mil-spec tools and accessories and stuff. Of course we should, but I would avoid the camo and the clothing and the materials, at least optically, that represent military affiliation. I'd just be really careful with that. And, with physically going gray, I would also, encourage people to be really careful about the crowds that they get involved with. Sometimes you put yourself in a position that could be dangerous or, unhelpful with regards to, running into trouble, and I would really try to avoid putting myself into situations where you're going to have the potential to have to fight things out. Most preppers, most ex-military veteran people, we're not looking for a fight. Most of us don't want to fight. We don't want to sling it out in the street. But if you want trouble, we'll give you some. That's kind of what I'm focusing on here. So don't look for trouble, but if you need to get out of trouble, you know what you got to do. So blend in, avoid large crowds, avoid camouflage and mil-spec, optically identifiable clothing and bags, etc. If you need to put on body armor, a helmet, that's a whole different conversation, and that's a whole different, circumstance that, going gray sort of goes out the window. There's lead being slung, you gotta do what you gotta do, So, in, a fourth area that I sort of like to blend into this, and this is just to help you further kind of, mold into the life of a gray man or a gray person. Use discipline on your purchases, I think at this time, buying in bulk, 500 rounds or less is probably cool, but I would avoid the 2 to, more than 1,000 rounds at a time thing now, because I think that's going to start getting flagged, and hopefully you've got a lot right now, and you've done your preps, and you've kept things going, and you've stockpiled a lot of Freedom Seeds. But I would really avoid trying to make bulk purchases with regards to Freedom Seeds in the near future. I believe they are already probably tracking a lot of this, and may physically use it against us in the future. So, and that could go with Freedom Seed dispensers and Mang sticks and everything else. I'm not telling you to go buy anything. I would just be careful on the large bulk purchases right now, because they will utilize data and have a database going, and I'm sure they probably already do in a lot of instances, but I have no doubt that they would try to use that as an advantage or ammunition to create havoc for us law-abiding patriots out there. I have no idea. I have no idea if they, doing that right now. But I would assume, if I were you, that they are. And I would just, again, utilizing the gray man approach to my everyday life. I would sort of, kind of, start thinking about that and try to implement it in your daily routines. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do have a feeling that something is going to happen. And by going gray, you're neither calling attention to yourself, nor are you falling behind. So you're just sort of hanging out in the middle. So I would encourage everybody to adopt the gray man posture and attitude. We're all in this together. So keep prepping, stack it deep, and always remember, long live the Republic.